The town of Otter Creek just released the agenda for the next town council meeting, one day ahead of what they actually had to do legally. Make sure you watch to the very end of this video because the Ohio Rapist shows up yet again. George and I are just days away from flying back to Otter Creek, which we're going to attend what we are hoping is going to be our last town meeting in person during what we would consider the off season, the summer, while we're at Hale's headquarters. Now, we are thrilled with the current leadership, and we are thrilled with the current town council and what they are accomplishing to correct issues. So let's take a look at the new agenda. And George, you are going with me this time, right?
That's the plan.
There's
the plan.
There's a lot of people just waiting to see you, thinking, what's George think about all of this? Oh my goodness, if I could tell you all of what George thinks. Okay, we do have a copy of the town hall meeting right here. And that's the agenda. And Sunshine Law says it has to be up 7 days in advance. It was actually submitted and up 8 days in advance. I love this about our mayor, our vice mayor. They're overachievers. And Belinda's in the office now as well. She's an overachiever. So a lot of people have asked, well, wasn't Diana, which is Deanna, you guys keep saying Diana, but it's Deanna. The letter D, Anna. So isn't Deanna volunteering for town hall? Well, Deanna was volunteering for town hall in a special needs and until they could find somebody to run things in town hall. Now, in the last meeting, you saw that they actually made a motion and they passed a motion, the entire town council, to pay Belinda, who had been volunteering, and to pay Therese, who had been putting in many hours as well to correct all of the issues the previous administration and the previous staff have made. I mean, it was a mess they made. With that being said, Deanna was no longer needed. They actually were paying somebody in the position. She stepped away and she's no longer volunteering in that capacity, which she was Let me back up. It wasn't volunteering. Belinda was volunteering, and so Belinda's being paid now, and therefore Deanna no longer needed to be paid in that capacity. Hope that all made sense. If not, hopefully you understood what I meant. So, this meeting is going to take place on August 8th, 7 p.m. It's always the second Tuesday of the month, and don't worry, we'll be there early. And hopefully the sound system will get better and better each time. We're really thankful that Limb Walkers donated a sound system to the town. And it's just getting better and better and better. And it's a learning. It's like anything else in life. We're learning. So Mayor is going to call to order with a Pledge of Allegiance and a roll call. So this is one of the things I really appreciate that Mayor Therese is doing. She's doing a roll call, which means officially in the minutes, the legal documents, you know who has attended and who hasn't attended. Now that's going to be really important if a member misses 3 meetings in a row. Did I say in a roll or in a row? It could be in a roll. They could be rolling. They see me rolling. My name is Attorney Worm. Don't you know I'm white and nerdy? So they could be rolling, but it's in a row. If they miss 3 meetings in a row, then they automatically are off the council. So this roll call becomes extremely important. But I'm sure the mayor didn't do that just because of that. I'm sure the mayor has said, hey, this is something we should be doing. I haven't had conversations with her, but she's a whole lot brighter on this than I am.
Bronson did it.
Well, and that's the other thing is once you get to see what others are doing and you can learn some of the positives and you can adapt and you can do those things in your arena as well, which Otter Creek is her arena now, then that's always some positive things that you can bring to the table. So I appreciate that and the pledge. Bronson did prayer as well. I would love to see prayer, but I understand not everybody is open to that, but I very much so am. And that's my opinion. If you have a different opinion, feel free to create a channel and tell everybody about your opinion. My opinion is I would love to see it. Now, we have guest speakers this meeting. It's going to be Fox and Mittauer. I think Mittauer, but if you see there, it's grants. So this is the really big question that's on people's minds. Where's the 1.4 million? So we've all seen that the governor, DeSantis, in a picture with Russ the Sus handing over a check of $1.4 million in a huge mock-up check, right? It's even in town hall office. So that mock-up, that huge piece of mock-up check, that's not a real check. You can't just sign that on the back, take it to the bank, and go, I get my 1.4 million. That 1.4 million in grants comes with guidelines. We could say stipulations. We could say legal issues that have to be adhered to, right? I mean, you get that, right? What we do know is that that 1.4 million is not going to go for the turtles. As a matter of fact, Lynette, she has a special message for you, and you know there was a mole. There's many moles, and we've gotten a lot of audio messages from Lynette. This one may be the most important one right here. This is extremely important from Lynette.
The last damn thing I freaking care about is the damn tortoises.
Yeah, we know, you don't. We know. So the 1.4 million isn't going to go to Lynette by any stretch of the imagination. That 1.4 million was to be applied to low-income, would you say housing communities? Low-income communities, which Levy County is a low-income community, and Otter Creek is probably one of the lowest-income communities in the county, okay? Now, George and I did not know that before we purchased property there. Again, we've already gone over all of this, what our business plan was, why we purchased property, and our goal was to spend winters in Florida and find a piece of property that we had enough space to hide in the woods, run our businesses, and to be able to be 2 hours away from all the major cities. And we looked at a map and we went, here's the spot. Cedar Key, Otter Creek. We looked at four different properties in Cedar Key, and we weren't too thrilled with them until we found the property in Otter Creek, and it was me. I fell in love with it. It's the creek, it's the hammock in the back, it's all the nature and the wildlife, and I went, oh my goodness, this is perfect. And it had Wi-Fi access with the cell tower, so that was huge for us in being able to actually run our online businesses. Everything we sell, we're resellers. So that being said, that's an important thing for not only us to have Wi-Fi connection. That's important for low-income communities as well, high-income communities. The whole deal with the 1.4 million is to say, well, people of affluency who have money have all this access online. Therefore, we're going to give grant money so people who don't have money have the same access so that it's equal, okay? And that's what that's supposed to be applied for. Now what's happening, and I've shown this in other videos as well, and you can see all of this in the Otter Creek playlist, is that Chiefland Central Electric is bringing in fiber optic to the entire town. As a matter of fact, that fiber optic was already feeding our cell tower. And you go, Jeremy, that's not your cell tower. Well, by contract, after so many years, yes, it is my cell tower. So, while it's my property right now, under contract, per contract, yes, it is my cell tower at a certain date and time. So that cell tower was already had all that fiber optic. George and I actually tried to get the fiber optic ran back to the ranch house, and they just weren't interested at that time. Central Florida Electric is interested in bringing fiber optic to everybody, which now, if Central Florida Electric is bringing fiber optic to everybody, what happens to that 1.4 million that was given? Bigger question is, what has happened to that 1.4 million that was given? Has anything happened? Or has it not even been given yet? Nobody knows, because the previous mayor, Russ the Sus, didn't tell anybody anything except, our water's good. Or he would say, fill up. So nobody knows what's going on with the grant whatsoever. So this company actually works for the town of Otter Creek and with their grants, and is going to come and educate the residents. I love this aspect of open transparency. Remember, our Mayor Therese, Madam Mayor, she stated that this would be a transparent, very, very transparent council under her leadership, and she has kept her word to a T. T stands for Therese. Okay, so Fox admitted if I'm saying it wrong, I don't know exactly how to say it, is going to talk to us about our water grants, which is huge for us in Otter Creek as well. We want good water, which we currently don't have. And everybody goes, Jeremy and George, why don't you drill wells? We've said this many, many times. We have 2 wells on our ranch property. Those wells have all kinds of iron and minerals that were no good for George's health either. And so The next thing is, why don't you drill deeper? Because it's Florida. It's very difficult to find good water in that area of Florida. So the goal was to get the healthiest water. What we did is we put in a personal filtration system, and we spent over $25,000 to get the cleanest water that we possibly could. Now, in my personal belief, I think we have the cleanest water in Otter Creek because we've gone above and beyond to clean it ourselves. I don't believe that we should actually have that responsibility to do that. But if all you can get is dirty water, well, that's all you're going to get, right? Okay, so we are going to learn about the grants. There's also going to be the agenda and the bills. They're going to approve the bills. You see that right there, right? Approval of the bills. Well, so sometimes it's hard. Okay. There will be approval of the bills. Now, no doubt, Don the Con is going to argue no matter what. So I have no doubt whatsoever that Madam Mayor Teresa is going to have the bills. Last meeting, she had them all on a spreadsheet, all outlined. This is the bill, this is the amount. Now, me as a resident, I don't necessarily need to see those. The council legally has to see them and needs to vote on them. Now, if I want to see them, I'm sure I could request to see them. But I'm confident that now that the council is seeing them and we vote the council to actually act for us, that I think they're going to make the right decisions. I also think that Don's going to make the wrong decisions. He's going to continue to argue just for the sake of arguing. Everybody wants to know, where's the investigation on Don? I can't tell you that because we're not the ones that are investigating him. The county and the state are investigating him. So whether Don will still be sitting in his seat or not, I do not know. We will find out as we go to the actual meeting. All right, agenda and bills. Next, we have right here, approval of the minutes from July 11th, 25th, meetings. If approval is submitted, council members sign one copy for public record. Okay, so that's good to know that the council members are actually going to sign and say, these were the minutes, this is what happened, and this is official now. We signed it and we agreed to it. Another great thing that's happening. That's a very, very good positive change in the town council. This is Madam Mayor Therese saying, all right, you're all going to sign it and say, this is the real deal. Therefore, these minutes are official. Now, you may be thinking, why would they do that? Do you remember when Russ the Sus would not turn over the bank accounts? The bank would not turn over the accounts to the new mayor and vice mayor and to the what would you say, the substitute clerk? I don't even know if you say temporary substitute clerk, because we still don't officially have a clerk hired yet. Wouldn't sign anything over without signed meeting minutes by all the council members. Well, guess what never happens? First of all, Mary wasn't typing up the minutes. Second of all, nobody could find the minutes. All the cassettes had mysteriously disappeared from town hall. I'm sure in the back of Russell's truck. And then how do you get things signed over? So there had to be another meeting to get any signatures, which Russell was not there. It just goes on and on and on. So this is just important that the Madam Mayor Therese is actually saying, hey, we're going to sign the minutes. I'm sure part of that probably sparked it. But there may be times where they need it in the future for other things and say, hey, this is all the signatures of all the council members. Again, I don't know for sure. I'm not the mayor. I'm just guessing. This is my opinion based on what I'm reading. So that's what I'm seeing. Okay, I also see, again, public participation. Members of the public have 3 minutes to speak to the council on a topic. Now, this is what I really like what she's doing. She's putting public participation and comments at the beginning of the meeting, and then you'll see again she's going to have it at the end. So the public can address anything that's on their mind at the beginning, and then the council can address all the things that need to be addressed. Then the public can address the council again based on those things that were addressed. So I like this because the Madam Mayor Therese again stated that we would invite input, we would listen, there would be a communication back and forth. And so with that transparency has also come open communication. Now you may be thinking, well, that's great. But is all communication good communication? No, all communication isn't good communication. I've said it before. There are such things as bad questions. I don't at all agree with the cliche that there's no such thing as a bad question. There are horrible questions in life. Very, very foolish questions in life. Some questions that should never be asked in certain circumstances and situations. And once you go through and you answer simple questions, I really don't think it's appropriate to then go and have to answer that same question again that was just so plainly answered. Such as, show me where it's on the agenda. That's a stupid question from the last meeting. I'm reading it right here. Da 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 da. It's on the agenda. But show me where it's on the agenda. Shouldn't it be on the agenda? That's a stupid question. So I do not agree with there is no such thing as stupid questions. I've seen a lot of stupid questions based on my life experiences. Many of them at Otter Creek Town Hall meetings. But I like the aspect that we have the chance to actually ask questions. All right, old business. Now we're going to get into the old business, the 1-year term for the council member. Ooh, this has sparked some controversy. So let's get down to the meat of this again, okay? 1-year term for the council member. There are 5 seats in Otter Creek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. None of them are numbered. There's just 5. Now, in most town councils, you would say seat 1, seat 2, seat 3, seat 4, seat 5. And you would vote a person to sit on seat 1, seat 2, seat 3, seat 4, seat 5. But in our charter and bylaws, we don't. There's just 5 seats. So when you vote for somebody, they just sit. There's not a specific designated seat that they sit in. So for instance, every year we have an election. So 1 year we vote 2 people in and they serve for 2 years. Every term is 2 years. The next year we vote 3 people in and they serve for 2 years. The next year we vote 2 people in, they serve for 2 years. Next year we vote 3 people in, they serve for 2 years. But because former mayor and council member Laura Mott, she stepped down to run for the county commissioner and did not get it. Therefore, that left a seat open. And under Russ the Suss's administration, Captain Dan was assigned to that seat, which put everything out of whack. So this last election, we voted in 4 people instead of the 3 because of all of the mess. And as such, to get everything back on track, one of those 4 people has to serve 1 term so that there is 2 people to vote 1 year, 3 people to vote the next year, 2 people to vote the next year, 3 people to vote the next year, so it's back on track. And Russell doesn't want it to be him. And Don the Con doesn't want it to be Russell. And some of you are thinking, well, why can't it be Don the Con? Because Don the Con is serving his 2nd year in his term. He wasn't elected in this election. He was elected in the previous election. So, as of right now, there's an argument. And there's a little bit of a tiff and a little bit of a fight. And the lawyer, Attorney Warm, is even chiming in. Now, 2 meetings ago, Attorney Warm told Madam Mayor Therese, you can do whatever you want. If Russell doesn't show up at the next meeting, give him the 1-year term. You can do whatever you want. Now, the last meeting, he goes, I don't think that's a good idea. You need to talk to the state attorney. You need to talk to get counsel on this. Well, hold a second. You're the lawyer. You're the one that gives counsel. He also said, there is no precedent for this. There is no laws in regards to this. This hasn't happened before. Otter Creek is odd, to say the least. So in essence, what's being said by the attorney, Warm, there are no laws. This is going to be a brand new situation that nobody's ever seen before, and this is going to set the precedent for what's going to happen. Now, who do I think is going to get the 1-year term? There's only 4 people that can get it. Don cannot get it. It's either Russell, it's either Gail, it's either Zim, or Madam Mayor Therese. One of those 4 are going to get the 1-year term. I don't know what the Attorney General has told the Madam Mayor, but I can't wait to find out. What do the people want? Vast majority of the people want Russell out of there. Vast majority of the town want Russell to get the 1-year term, so he's out, he's gone forever. I promise you, if this election happened all over again, there's no way Russell would have ever been voted in. So that's going to be a huge area of contention. Now, Russell finally has taken some wise counsel, maybe from his son, who's a county commissioner, and stopped running his mouth in these meetings. He's actually just sitting there, getting redder, and redder, and redder, and redder. We'll see what happens this time. We'll see if he gets the 1 year. Now, then we go on to new business. Hiring bookkeeper clerk, the 1976 Dodge fire truck, budget workshop, brush truck. Okay, there's a lot of things to talk about in new business. So last meeting, they were talking about all the resumes for the new bookkeeper and for the clerk. Oh, this is hiring bookkeeper and clerk. Okay, so hiring the bookkeeper and the clerk. So apparently at this meeting, it looks like they're going to actually be hiring somebody. It's going to be a done deal. Somebody's going to be hired, I'm guessing, unless Don the Con needs an official application instead of resume. There's a good chance of that. There's also the 1976 Dodge fire truck, which I believe, I don't even know. That's the one that Don owns, isn't it?
I thought it was the truck that's in the
No, that's the
next
brush
door.
truck, and the brush truck is on here. I think the 1976 Dodge fire truck is the one that Don actually bought for $500.
I thought it was a Ford. I could be wrong.
You know what? You might know better than me, but I believe, I'm curious why that's on there. 1976 Dodge fire truck. Okay, budget workshops. Now, at the last special meeting, all they had to do was vote on the trim percentage. That was it. And then they got handed out budget worksheets that they could start going through in preparation for budget workshops, in preparation for the September meeting to pass the budget. There was no passing or voting on any budget. So Don made a huge mess out of everything again. Why? I don't know. You probably have a better idea than I do. Okay.
Clear as mud why he did it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to let you tell everybody. Brush truck. Now, the brush truck was talked about at the last meeting, and Russell conveniently, I propose, I'll make a motion that we donate that to the county. I bet you do. You put this entire town in debt. You screwed this entire town over, and now the one option that we have to make some money to pay for the issues that you created, now you just want to give it away. What kind of fool votes this man in? Like, this is the blind leading the blind. I mean, this man is a fool. This man has declared bankruptcy 2 times. Now, there's some of you out there who are like, declaring bankruptcy means nothing. It means everything. If I'm going to put my money under the stewardship of somebody who is supposed to take care of that money, I want a person that I know can personally handle money. And a person who has declared bankruptcy 2 times definitely is not going to touch any of my money. Period. That's it. There's your businessman talking to you. And if you go, Jeremy, you're wrong. Great. Start a YouTube channel. Tell the world how I'm wrong. I'm sure they're going to listen to you. Okay. So we got the brush truck. Then we get department reports: administration, maintenance, parks and recs, public safety and water. So administration, I don't know who's in charge. Oh, Madam Mayor Therese might be in charge of administration report.
So assigning the seats, something?
I don't know. Well, that might be assigning the seats, because Madam Mayor Therese said
Zim was water, isn't he?
Yeah, Zim's taking care of water. We know Richard is maintenance. Parks and Rec. You know who might be Parks and Rec?
Gail?
No, you know who I think it is? Because there's only one person that it could be.
The last damn thing I freaking care about is the damn tortoises.
Yeah, I think that's the only park and rec in Otter Creek. Am I right? By the way, I'm going to play, so many people have said, Jeremy, can you just play exactly what she said all the way through? Yes, I'm going to. We've actually had some help cleaning up the audio, and we're going to play it all the way through for you here today as well. So she might be in charge of Parks and Rec. Maybe. She definitely probably in her mind thinks she is. And then there's announcements. And the announcements are children's food table every other Friday, 1:30, 8:4, 8:18, 9:1. Sign up and email for the water bills. Wakasasa Water. This is our water thing. The Wakasasa Water and Wastewater Cooperative meeting is August 16th at 1 p.m. in Cedar Key. Did you just hear our peacocks? They like water too. And then public comments. Then we go down to public comments again. Members of the public have 3 minutes to comment on items, issues discussed
So 3
at the
minutes
meeting.
each.
The public is encouraged to visit Town Hall during the scheduled business hours, to leave comments in the drop box at Town Hall anytime, to be reviewed, addressed, and added to the next agenda if as necessary. And then adjournment. I wonder if Russell is going to be the one to try and adjourn again. You think it'll be Russell? I motion we adjourn. It might be Russell. So I think the biggest things coming out of this meeting is we're going to learn what's going on with that 1.4 million. We're going to find out who's serving that 1-year term. And we're going to, right now, we're going to listen to the entirety of Lynette's rant to the 13 people in her little group that she created, that she says there is no mole. Okay, so it was her, John Crook, which, by the way, she boots everybody for saying negative things, but she keeps in John Crook. How do you feel about that?
Against the rules.
Breaks all of her rules.
How
She
do you-
boots
how do you-
everybody.
How do you boot your own self out of your group if you're breaking the rules? It makes no sense.
She keeps her own self in the
And
group.
John makes her look really, really bad.
Very bad. Well, she makes John look bad as well. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the entirety of what she said without comment. I should play it just looking at George's face, because George bites her tongue a lot on this. And George tells me, you need to say this. You should say this. She bites her tongue on it. So we're going to go part 1, part 2. I promise, no commentary, okay? Here we go.
For weeks. Okay, I want everyone to hear my voice. Shara has been on this case for weeks and weeks. Before I had anyone else working on this, I had asked Shara to come in. She's not posting anything else but that.
Oh, come on. Come on.
She's not posting anything else but that. That wasn't the first post that she's made. It's for a reason. Because when people think that you're bugging them or whatever, or after them, they make a lot of mistakes. And she kind of wanted to take the pressure off of me and put it on her. Okay? She is not going to do anything other than that little tiny post that she did, which really didn't say much about me, more so about the town, because she's not dealing with me. She's dealing with the town issue. And there's much more to this town issue than anyone knows. So she's dealing with that. She's not going to post anything else until after the charges have been filed. If they choose to. The county attorney, or whatever the hell he's called, may decide not to. I hope that that's not what happens, and I don't think that's going to be what happens. I think they're going to press the charges because he's crossed the line. And the more threats that he makes, the worse it is for him. Not to mention the worse threats I get from his fans, which today was pretty bad. So Shara did that for a reason. I need all of you. You all are as important to me as everyone else. And I know what I'm doing. I'm not an idiot. I'm not stupid. Not at all. So I am thankful and grateful in ways you guys will never know, because I don't know how to thank you enough. I really don't. I don't know how to thank you enough for everything you've done for me. I don't. Words are not enough. But they're all I have. And I care about stopping him. But I also care about this town. And I care about stopping all of them for what they're doing to the town and what their plans are. And I have to work both ends of it. I have put myself in a really shitty position on all sides. And I'm going to do my best to maintain and deal. Getting cameras is a must, especially after people on my property. Damn it, I'll do another one just a minute.
Part 2.
She's got a foul
I
mouth.
just can't. What'd you say?
She has a foul mouth.
That's our minister.
And this child that she adopted and is raising is sitting right next to her listening to all of this.
In the shed.
Uses talk to text, and that child needs 24/7 care. She should be ashamed of herself.
Okay. All right. Part 2. Part 2. This is where it really gets good.
I'm now also dealing with Jamie. She's accusing me of stealing things out of her camper because things were stolen, evidently, when they took her camper. You know what? You bring a stolen freaking camper to my property. I could have went to jail. I could have lost my child. The last damn thing I freaking care about is the damn hoarding shit that you picked up out of goddamn dumpsters and brought to my property. It went to the dump, and that's where it is. And I'm not going to deal with her anymore either. I've had enough threats from her today. She's lucky she's going to maintain her children because somebody was on meth so bad that they shoot rounds off trying to scare somebody that's not in the walls of her camper shouldn't have children, especially autistic ones. So I'm at my end, guys. I am stretched as far as I can stretch. I'm stressed out. I'm trying to feed the tortoises, get enough money for cameras. I'm trying to do all of this and maintain my cool and take care of this baby. Do you know my baby fell asleep at about 5 o'clock and she's still sleeping? She's stressed out. She's tired. I'm stressed out. She can tell. So I need you all. I don't need any of you to walk away. There is no mole. Nobody's a mole. Jeremy is saying that because he knows that Victoria, whatever her name is, got caught in his group and he's pissed off. He's playing the gaslight game. My damn son-in-law and my daughter do it to my grandchildren every frickin' day. Oh, well, your grandma told me what you said about me. What did you say about us? Because your grandma already told us. We already know, so you might as well come clean. That's the game he's playing, guys. Don't let him win. For God's sakes, don't let him win. I need you. I hope you all stay. I hope you all continue to help me. Let's just stop him from hurting anyone else. And let's just stop him from unincorporating and stealing our town. It's not what the people want. It's what they want so that they can make their freaking tube town. Period. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm exhausted. I can't talk. My voice is still gone. I love you all. I can't say thank you enough. And that's all I can say. And I said it with my voice and with my heart. So I hope y'all are there tomorrow. I love you guys. Thanks. Bye.
That's all I can say.
What a hot mess.
This
she is.
woman, that's all I can say. This woman cannot stop
Oh my goodness.
talking.
When is she going to learn to just stop talking and make things worse for herself? The best advice, stop talking, stop posting things, stop oversharing.
You all are as important to me as the tortoises. Tortoises. Okay, I could have went to jail. I could have lost my tortoises. Tortoises. I'm now also dealing with Jamie. Jamie. She's accusing me of stealing the tortoises out of her camper. Jeremy is saying that because he knows that I'm an idiot. I'm trying to feed tortoises. Jamie was on meth so bad that they shoot rounds off trying to scare the tortoises in the walls of the camper. There is no tortoises. Tortoises. I love you all. I can't say thank you enough. And that's all I can say. And I said it with my voice and with my tortoises. So I hope y'all are there tomorrow. There is no tortoises.